So I just finished a reread of the Twilight series. Originally, I wasn't even going to mention that I was reading them because I have always mocked the books and always will mock the books because they're not well written and the characters kind of suck. But also, there's just something really fun about reading a super cheesy romance that's really bad and then watching the movies and mocking them, which is a whole nother thing, which we'll get to, because today's video is my thoughts on Twilight. First, my thoughts on Twilight. My main thought while reading Twilight was Bella dumb. My biggest gripe with her is that Edward tells her, your blood is like a drug to me and I want to suck you dry. And she's just like, oh yeah, that's totally normal. Let's date. What? No, that's not normal. That is a problem. You should not be dating him, Bella. And that just is that just starts the whole process. That is the story. Bella's dumb. She should not be dating Edward because he wants to suck her blood. Then there were just some little things that bugged me. One of the things pretty early on was that Bella made a mention of driving to either Olympia or Seattle for bookstores. I'm from Washington. Olympia may be the capital of the state, but you're not going to go there for bookstores when Seattle is an option and is just about as far from Forks as Olympia. It's a little bit farther, but not enough to make a difference when Seattle has more bookstores and just things to do in general than Olympia does. So that kind of annoyed me. Another thing that kind of annoyed me was just the way that Bella talks. She doesn't really talk like a 17-year-old. Like when she and Jess are going to Port Angeles with Angela, and Bella talks about it had been a while since I'd had a girls' night out and the estrogen rush was invigorating. Nobody talks like that. I'm an English major and even I don't talk about estrogen rushes when I'm with my friends. I just have fun with my friends. So that was kind of weird and annoying, and I still don't understand why Bella talks that way. She's 17, not in her 40s. Another thing that annoyed me was when the Cullens are playing baseball towards the end of, or like middle to end of the book. Bella has her hair up in a pony, which makes sense. She's watching the vampires play baseball. She doesn't want her hair to get in her face. But then, when the three nomads show up, Edward is suddenly like, yeah, take your hair down. It'll hide the scent. Which doesn't make any sense to me, because I feel like having the hair pulled up would keep the scent away from her face, and having it down would cause it to react more to the wind and stuff. So I think that one's all on Edward. It's his fault that James smelled her and then decided to track her because of how he reacted. So I can blame Edward for that one. Then we're on to New Moon. And again, Bella dumb. I think she annoys me more in this one than she does in Twilight, just because, I mean, I've had my heart broken, so I understand that it sucks, but just sitting in your room for 3 months doing absolutely nothing, and then just going out and becoming an adrenaline junkie because you're seeing the face and hearing the voice of your ex-boyfriend is insane. And I don't understand. Also, why did it take Charlie so long to say something to Bella? If I was going through that, I can guarantee my parents would give me a couple of days, maybe a week or two, and then they'd be like, hey, Carissa, you gotta get your life together. Figure something out. I mean, they'd say it kindly, but still. Charlie waited several months to say something, and I don't understand why. Like, he's Bella's dad. He cares for her, obviously. He's worried about her, and he wants to make sure that she's happy, but she's obviously not. So why is he taking so long to say something? Jacob is kind of a jerk after he becomes a werewolf. Like, I understand that he can't tell Bella the truth about what he is, but that doesn't mean he has to just cut her out. Like, he could have found a way earlier to remind her of the stories that he had told her back at La Push Beach in the first book, so that he didn't have to just completely cut her out. But he didn't. He just stopped talking to her, which is not helpful for somebody who's already had somebody leave her and stop talking to her. And he knew that, because they'd been hanging out for so long now. So he really should have made a better choice there. So, not a huge fan of Jacob after he becomes a werewolf. Before that, he's super sweet. I like him. And I think he and Bella could have been happy together if he hadn't become a werewolf. But he did. And here we are. My final big gripe with New Moon was that Bella finds out that Edward is going to Italy to try and have the Volturi kill him because he thinks that Bella's dead. And she just, like, drops everything to go flying to him, even though she thinks that he doesn't love her anymore. And he did leave her earlier in the school year. And I don't understand why she would put herself through that pain. Like, she knows he doesn't love her. He told her he didn't love her. He told her that it was best for her if he leaves, which is true. It is best for her that he leaves. But she goes anyway. And she's lucky it worked out, because she was setting herself up for more heartbreak. Because again, Bella film. Okay, and now Eclipse. I actually like Bella more in this one. I wasn't annoyed with her. I don't know what it is that changed, because Bella doesn't actually really change much over the course of the series. Like, she's a fairly static character. She doesn't really change. But something about her in Eclipse just did not annoy me as much. I think because she's already made the decision to be with Edward, and she's now not really friends with Jacob anymore, because he's all upset that she's back with Edward, which I understand. But I don't know, she just doesn't annoy me as much. So I don't actually have much complaining to go on with Eclipse, because I really liked this one, actually. But again, Jake is a jerk. I don't know what else to say. Jake's a jerk. I mean, he was sweet in the beginning of New Moon and in Twilight, but in Eclipse, he's a jerk. That's all I can say. Jake's a jerk. Going along with Jake being a jerk, when Jake kissed Bella, and she broke her hand, and then she goes home and tells Charlie what happened, and he laughs. Like, he has these double standards with Edward and Jacob, and because of the fact that Edward left Bella and Bella is back with him, he just doesn't like Edward. But Jake's not really much better for Bella than Edward is, I don't think. And so the fact that he just kind of laughed it off and wasn't like, hey, don't kiss my daughter without her permission, is kind of annoying. Like, I usually like Charlie, but I didn't think that was a very good parenting moment there, because my dad, if someone kissed me without my permission and I had punched them and broken my hand, because they're a werewolf and they have a hard werewolf face, well, that's beside the point. My dad would not have laughed it off. My dad would have smacked that kid's ass. Yeah, Jake's a jerk for that, and Charlie's double standards are super annoying. But Edward's also a little bit of a jerk when he mentions the engagement when he knows that Jake is able to hear it, because Bella was being a coward and wouldn't tell him. I didn't like that. Normally I don't mind Edward. I thought he had the upper hand in the books. He was trying to be the better man and do what makes Bella happy. But that was kind of a dick move. I mean, I understand, like, Bella should have told Jake earlier. He needs to know because he needs to be able to come to terms with it. But not in that way. Couldn't there have been a better way? I think so. And then finally, Breaking Dawn. Now this one is a beast. It's super thick. But it's also really good. I really like it. I can't even really explain why. I just do. I like that Bella finally is able to get what she wants, and Edward gets what he wants because they get married and then they have their honeymoon the way that Bella wants it. And then she gets to become a a vampire, which she's wanted since the beginning. And bonus, they have a baby! Which is exciting. And also, you know, the cause of all of the problems in this book. But I still really enjoy it. Like, I don't actually have a ton of complaints about Breaking Dawn. I think my big one is just Jake imprinting on Renesmee. I think that's super weird, and I don't like it. It's creepy. Like, I understand that the imprinting at first is just, like, he's just gonna be a protector. He just wants Renesmee to be happy. And as she gets older, it'll turn into a romantic thing. But it's still creepy for him to imprint on a baby who is minutes old, whose mom is upstairs dying and becoming a vampire. Why? Why did Stephenie Meyer do that? Why? And then my other big thing is just, there's really no fight at the end. Like, I like that nobody dies and they get to talk it out or whatever, but also, it's kind of anticlimactic because they go to all this effort to get all of these vampires to come and listen to the story and meet Renesmee and be witnesses, and then the Volturi show up, and the only one that dies is Irina, which is sad because her sister saw that, and if I saw one of my sisters murdered and set on fire in front of me, I would also freak out. But also, all of that and only one death, I feel cheated. Not that I wanted anybody to die, but it is kind of anticlimactic. So we'll give you that. My thoughts on Twilight. I'm not even going to go into the movies because they're terrible. And as I was re-watching them, I could not make it through them without giggling the entire time because they're just so terribly acted and terribly written, which is sad because, I mean, the books are terribly written too, but at least they're better than the movies in some ways. Yeah. So Twilight, not my favorite series, but it was enjoyable reading it again and mocking it. So yeah, let me know your thoughts on Twilight. Favorite characters, least favorite characters, most cringy moments. Let me know. And I'll see you guys next time.